Hey there. Welcome back to the Golfweek Amateur Tour, the podcast. Chris, should we tell people how to join the tour?
Of course. Whether you're a seasoned member or just tuning in to learn more, we're here to help you dive into the ins and outs of the tour. If you've been on the fence about joining, there's no better time than now. It's a fantastic way to play competitive golf, meet other passionate golfers, and step up your game.
Registration is open. All you need to do is go to amateurgolftour.net. Click Join the Tour button and pay your local tour's membership dues.
And if you want to keep up with all things Golfweek Amateur Tour, make sure you're subscribed and listening to the podcast on your favorite platform. Don't forget to download each episode, share it with your golf buddies, and if you're enjoying the show, drop us a like and a review. Your feedback helps us grow the community and reach more golfers just like you. Thanks for tuning in. Now let's get into today's episode.
Hey, Chris and everybody. Welcome back to the Golfweek Amateur Tour, the podcast. And Chris, you and I, we talked about some big changes we've got coming for the podcast for the year. And I don't know about you, but I'm really super excited to share this big news today with everybody.
Yeah, completely correct. We've been growing. It's been a great journey, and we want to invite you and your businesses to join us on this amazing journey we've been on. So as of this episode, we're officially opening up sponsorship opportunities for the podcast.
Chris, exactly. We've got an amazing community of listeners and members and golfers, that are passionate about amateur golf and the tour. So whether you're a golf brand, a local business, or just somebody who loves the game, this would be a perfect chance to connect with an engaged and enthusiastic audience.
And it's not just about reaching our audience. By partnering with us, your brand becomes part of the story we're building here. One that celebrates the players, the courses, and the incredible energy of the Golfweek Amateur Tour.
Yeah, and we could tailor any sponsorship packages to meet your goals, whether it's shout outs on the show, mentions on social media, or even custom segments where we highlight your brand. And Chris, the first one I'm thinking about is Roger's Rules.
Yep.
Roger needs a sponsor.
He sure does. So if you're interested in partnering with us and getting your name of your business out to the amateur golfers across the country, reach out today. Just email us at DMAC, that's DMAC, at amateurgolftour.net.
Yeah, let's team up to make this podcast and Golfweek Amateur Tour community even stronger. And just remember, the sponsorships is what allows, Chris, you and I to travel to the regionals to be able to go out and see everybody. So, we can't wait to hear from you.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. And as always, keep hitting them straight.
All right, let's go ahead and get the show started.
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Golfweek Amateur Tour proudly presents Golfweek Amateur Tour, the podcast, talking about all things Golfweek Amateur Tour, including interviews with tour directors, players, and course professionals. Now here are your hosts, Tim Newman and El Paso Las Cruces Tour Director, Chris Rocha.
Welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and you're ready for the new year. Chris, it's good to see you, bud.
Likewise, the holidays were great. Pretty sure they were great for you as well. But yeah, the New Year's already here, and Jesus, man, this thing is, we need to have time slow down a little bit. My kids are about to be in high school, and I don't even know where that started.
I don't want to upset anybody, but Icebreakers this weekend.
That's crazy.
So we're rolling, buddy.
Yeah,
we're rolling.
I know, and once you start traveling, it's gonna be nonstop.
Yeah, so we'll wrap up this episode with how Icebreaker is going to work with us, but just essentially I'll probably just do the interviews and record them and go from there because you'll be in warm El Paso. Is it above 60 there?
No, it's still cold.
Shut up.
It's still cold. We're just gonna leave it at that.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get this episode started. Again, hope everybody had a happy Merry Christmas and is looking forward to a new year. and I think it's only fitting to start this episode off with a new senior tour director out of Chicago. He's been on tour for a good long while, and I'm glad that we had somebody step up to take the place there. So let's go ahead and welcome in Nick Lanas from Chicago. Nick, welcome to the show, bud.
How's it going?
I'm doing great. I'm more concerned about you. I've known you for a few years, but I did not know that you were a middle school teacher. What's up with that?
I am.
Bless
I
your
just
heart.
got done. Yeah, so I teach middle school science, 6th grade to be exact. So yeah, we just got done with middle school basketball. So I coach 8th grade basketball as well, and kids had a great season. I'm glad it's over with because that makes my life real busy.
Yeah, I'm sure. God bless you, Coach. I mean, teaching middle school and coaching little ones like that. I think coaching little ones is fun, but to teaching in class, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess it takes a special breed of person. You have to be patient. Like obviously, right now, I'm a little bit patient with my 3-year-old. So,
oh, that's awesome though.
No, you have to be very patient.
Hey, Jess, come on. Sorry, give me 1 second.
Nick, don't even worry about it. That's not the first time we've had kids on the podcast, and
It won't be the last.
it won't be the last. I absolutely love it. I do. So, but I couldn't teach middle school. There's just no way. No way.
Yeah, before you guys were talking about the cold. Up here, it's cold right now. I mean, -13 with the wind chill. So,
Yeah, but see,
I mean,
you don't
Texas
have to
is
live
not-
up there. You don't have to live up there.
This is true.
Right?
This is
oh
true.
gosh. I just remember, and before we get into this, that, when I was up there, when we had COVID, we were playing at Harborside, and it was it had been like the first week of June, and it was windy, and it was cold, and it was rainy, and all I had on was I think it was this actual shirt and shorts, and we couldn't go inside, and it was like 40 degrees. It miserable. Miserable.
Yeah, I'm sure I was there. I've been on the regular Golfweek Tour as a participant for 12, 13 years.
Uh-huh.
So it's been a while. I remember times at Harborside, you had 30, 40 mile per hour winds in the face on a par 3. Instead of having a 200-yard hole, I mean, it's playing like 250. So it's amazing. Just like the Windy City, that's why it gets that nickname.
Yeah, actually, it was you were there. It was June 13th of 2020,
Oh, wow.
and it was so it wasn't even. It was the middle of June. It was, Chris. It was miserable.
Again,
It was
you don't have to live there.
No, but I was there in shorts and a shirt. Good God.
I mean, it's amazing, though, how some players can still play that great under extreme conditions. I remember 2 years ago was probably the worst conditions that we've ever experienced. It was at a place called Thunderhawk, really beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
golf
I like
course.
Thunderhawk. Yeah.
And it was probably 40, 50 degrees with rain. And we're talking early in the year. Here in Chicago, we try to get tournaments in April or May, but sometimes it can be really, really cold. We had probably 30 mile per hour winds. It was raining, and a young kid from one of those, I think he was a D3 collegiate golfer, and he went out there in the rain, and I think he shot. I mean, it was 40 degrees, windy, rain, and he shot like a couple over par at Thunderhawk.
Jesus.
I was like, how? How do you compete against him?
God bless it, man. But I love seeing stuff like that too, though, because for me, I'd fold. I mean, I would literally fold. I mean, if it's cold, I'm done. I don't play. If it's raining, I'm not playing. Chris lives in Texas, and I get on him a lot. He says if it's 60 degrees, it's cold. Chris likes it's between 70 and 80 degrees. That's his sweet spot. If it's over 80, it's too hot. Under 70 is too cold. But I got to a point, and I don't play much anymore, but I got to a point where if I didn't like the weather, I just wasn't going to play, because I played so much, I didn't have to play. And no, if it's cold like that, I'm just going to go inside. Go inside. So,
I mean, it's not a matter of it being cold. I just don't want to be in a jacket all day trying to swing a golf club. That's the only problem.
Chris, stop lying.
Might swing better that way. I don't know. I've never played golf with you, Chris, but sometimes it can make our swings better. Us amateurs.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong.
Yeah, because you shorten it up a little bit, probably slow it down a little bit, and take out some of the error there. But Nick, you're a champ flight player. I'm looking at your index right now, 2.3. We had Bill on a couple episodes ago, who took over for the regular golf week side, also a champ flight player, and I told him, Chicago champ flight players, I put them up against some of the best across the country. I mean, you guys got a ton of good players up there.
Oh, absolutely. It's funny. I started in the B flight. Back when I started, I was still in my 20s. I was actually probably more physically fit than I am now, but just being in golf week, playing those competitive rounds, and, along with people that you actually enjoy playing golf with as well, I feel like is just, it really just steps your game up a little bit. You're in more competitive rounds. And I think, to be honest, starting in the B flight and going up to champ flight just over the years, it's actually helped me in like amateur events outside of golf week as well.
Yes.
I played in the Illinois Open 2 years, and just qualifying for that was one of my goals. And it's just like the best amateurs and pros in the state of Illinois. But you don't get like PGA Tour professionals, but you got guys on there who play PGA Tour Latin America, web.com events. I know there was one year, what's his name? Nick Hardy, played at U of I, who they have a great collegiate golf program. He played in the Illinois Open and placed third. And then this same guy, I think, was top 10 in a US Open 4 or 5 years later. So it just shows that, like, on any given weekend, if you are just hot with the putter, things can happen. And once you get to that tier where it's single digit, it's so hard to get like one stroke off your handicap.
Yes.
And that's one thing I've experienced playing so long. But golf week has definitely helped me, and I enjoy it. So,
well, I'm not going to say this number to embarrass anybody, but understand that this is for everybody out there. Understand that, even the best players don't have good days. Your very first round, you shot a 102. First round, you shot a 102. And your index now, like I said, is a 2.3. So, it's about coming in, competing, and getting better, and taking on those challenges. And so, looking at your, I'm just looking at your scores using your index.
I'll be out with the 102. That was probably with the triple bogey max rule too, in effect. So I'm glad that it was a 102. Who knows? That could have been a lot worse. and then, years later, this was probably 2017, maybe 2000. So I know we played an event at Cantini. Then that's, I think I was in the A flight at the time. And then I go and shoot 72 under, and I shoot like a 32 on the back. I think I had like 12 putts. And it just goes to show you that, it's kind of, that's what makes it fun, is because you have that competition every single weekend, or every other weekend, depending on how often you have the events.
Yeah. And again, when you've got a good champ flight group, right? So it's not just like one or two guys that you're going head to head with every week. You've got a bunch of guys, and you've got to bring your A game every week to really be in the mix. That's to me is something that is important to understand from, not only from the champ flight, but we talk about the champ flight in that sense all the time, but the same thing goes for the A flight, same thing goes for the B flight and C flight, D flight. Understand that, when you're in those other flights, you're going to have 7, 8, 10 guys that are going to have good rounds, and you have to have your best round as well to be able to compete and win. and it just drives you.
Now, let me ask you this, because you're taking over as seniors. You don't look like a senior to me. So,
yeah, I'm only 35. So part of the reason why I decided seniors would be better is obviously I'm competitive. And if I know that I'm not playing on the regular tour, I mean, I could play and be a director, but I just feel like my focus isn't where it needs to be if I want to play, at least in the first few years.
Right.
So I can do both, and then I can just focus just on the senior tour, which I think is something like, if I'm going to invest time in it, I don't want to have to worry about being on the course and then taking over some of those responsibilities. It's not to say that you can't do it. You just would need more help and more support from other players, but I can't play in seniors, so it's kind of a nice gig in my eyes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's very difficult to play, to run the event and play well, and run the event well, and do the things that need to be done. You know, the customer service aspect, taking care of the things that have to be taken care of, and play and compete and be where you want.
It's not easy.
Yeah, and it can be done, but as far as like competing at being in there at the end, you know, sometimes one putt you miss, you know, but you also have to answer a text message to something going on the course or clubhouse. Like, I can't focus that way. Other people might be able to.
I can't. I couldn't do it.
It is the toughest thing you will ever do. Trust me.
Yeah.
It is tough, but you just do it and you figure it out.
Yeah. Well, you know, the good thing is, I'm glad you stepped up to take over the seniors, because, you know, we need to get them back to where they were a few years ago, and you got pretty much a clean slate. So, what types of things are you looking to do this coming year?
The first year, like right now, I'm just focused on the schedule. I think that's priority one. It's a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I'll be completely honest. I think the hardest thing is trying to get the prices down on certain courses, and, you know, because guys don't want to pay crazy astronomical prices. So trying to balance that. Sponsors would be nice. I think in my first year, I'm going to try and just have a successful tournament. Like in the past, what I remember when I really enjoyed Golf Week was, you know, having trophies at every event, making sure that there's an announcement at the end of every round. So like congratulating the winner. I think just like even just saying their names out loud, not instead of like, here's your gift card, great job, second place. Like, just so the other players let's say there's 15, 20 other players in that same flight, you know, they can clap and congratulate. I think that's a good feeling that it puts inside the winner. I also want to, I know a lot of tours do this, but just posting pictures on the website of, you know, a little snippet of their story and how their round went. I think some of those, just getting back to, it almost sounds like I tell my basketball players, like the fundamentals, right? You just start with the basics. You can have a successful tour. I mean, the guys just want to go out there, compete, and have fun. And, you know, I think that you need to get back to that. Start with the basics to have a successful tour.
Yeah,
you know,
go ahead, Chris.
I'll just say it's funny because you mentioned, you know, like the basketball team. I used to coach high school in Texas. We have to have the high school teams have to have an off-season like travel team, but their coach can't coach, so I still didn't coach. And you say it all the time, even at the high school level. You know, you got to get back to basics. Basics is what's going to get you to be a champion. And you said it perfectly. You know, if we as directors take it back to the basics, then everyone falls in love with it and they come back for more.
Yeah, and I think, you know, getting players on the tour, you know, there's guys that don't play every single tournament,
right?
You know, but I just want as many members as possible. I play a lot of casual golf, so I think I'm a great person to be out there and just, you know, sometimes I play golf by myself and I have tee times and I get paired up with people. I have no idea who they are. They're awesome people. They hear about the tour. They never sign up because I was just, hey, like I play on the Golfweek Tour. You should try it. It's a lot of fun. But they don't have the information. So I think just having those brochures and just the communication and collaboration with golfers on an everyday basis, I think is huge. And I think I can add and bring people to the tour just by doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the best, really the best way to grow the tour is through that word of mouth and from you and from the individual members. You know, again, whether you're at a driving range or whether, like you said, you're out there just playing a casual round and you're paired up with people. You know, that's how the tour really grows. And
For sure.
you know, and the other piece is if every player for each tournament just brought one person, right? So you've got a member. Hey, look, I'm playing in this tournament next week at Thunderhawk. Come with me, and somebody else brings somebody. You know, once you get them there once, they're going to be hooked. And that's how it's going to grow.
Absolutely. I mean, I have people in mind already. Obviously, not as many senior friends because I'm only 35, but my dad's on the senior tour. And I mean, I golf with the same group of seniors every Sunday with my dad and a few buddies. And I'm always telling them, like, why don't you guys join? I think now that I'm a director, I'm not saying they don't have a choice, but it's like, what other incentive do they need? Like, I think some guys get nervous. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
You know, they think of it as highly competitive, and you have casual leagues all the time on different golf courses. And to me, I don't like leagues because you know how sometimes you have an index and then one guy shoots well, and then it's like, oh, well, they shot a net 61.
Right.
So
exactly.
And that's why I've never been a fan of leagues. I feel like this puts you're on an even playing field more. So you're with the guys that have the same handicap as you. And if they play a little bit better that day, there's no discrepancy in the score. There's no confusion. I feel like it's just all right there in front of you, which I love. And the live scoring is huge. And I like the up-to-date scoring that the guys get now with the technology we have.
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, you can see it. Indexes are posted online for everybody to see, and you know, as we continue to monitor the indexes and tweak how we tweak how, Chris, how do I want to say it? Tweak how we are enforcing the indexes, moving people up, and
I mean, I just think it's something special that we do because, you know, we're taking only what we record. So, yeah, I guess monitoring, is the right word. But, I mean, it's just great because it's just the tournaments that we provide. So there's no way of manipulating that score because we're only taking what you do.
Right. And so, you know, Nick, I'm one of the people that watches these scores every weekend and have to, make, as part of the committee, help make those disqualification decisions. And so, you know, when I see some of these things that go on, you know, all over the country, and first off, we understand that the majority of people that play this game are honest and open and good guys. But every once in a while, you're going to have somebody who's going to come in new and think they can game the system. And, you know, those guys are relatively easy to ferret out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, the number of rounds, I think, is just the sign of, I mean, it's so obvious. You know, if you've had a guy on tour for 3-4 years has never won, he's not, you know, changing up his index or, you know, sandbagging is the term that they like to use. But, you know, sometimes guys do get hot. They have a great round. And, you know, that's one thing that, you know, we have the handbook, right? And they have a set handicap. And if they score too low, then, there is disqualification. So I know there's other factors that go into it, such as like years on tour and, how many rounds have they had and X amount of, what is it? Is it 20 rounds now still, right? I mean,
16.
I have to double check. 16.
It's 16. And, we also look at course conditions. If, let's just say that two guys in the same flight had really good rounds, or, there's low scores across the entire field. The course just playing easy, as opposed to the course just playing hard. And then there's one guy who's really low. That's, I wouldn't say that's necessarily, automatic, but it does make you kind of, raise your eyebrow a little bit and look a little bit further into it. But, the majority of the guys that are out here playing honest, handicaps are legit. And, it's not like we're playing for millions of dollars either.
Right.
Even though some people feel that way.
So do you have any courses already booked on the schedule?
So I have Thunderhawk. I don't have any actually online or on the website. I'll just share with you who I've talked to and who I'm in communication with. Because until I have something on paper and obviously contracts, you have to be careful. I don't want to say there's a course and then we don't get that course.
Yep.
So I live in northern Illinois. I live just like right on the border. I'm trying to get courses south, trying to get courses north, trying to spread it out a little bit because I know I'm a Chicago senior tour director. So far, I've had a couple Geneva courses, Lake Geneva.
Okay.
I have Thunderhawk, which we're good to go on that. I just have to finalize things. Trying to get a 2-day event with Shepherd's Crook. I haven't heard back from them. So, that would just make sense because I'm trying to get a 2-day for that weekend. Shepherd's Crook and Thunderhawk. Thunderhawk, we're good to go, and that's a great course. So I'm happy with that one. Because normally we do Chicago Golf Week and Milwaukee. Sometimes they do a combo event. It's a popular course, and the guys love it. So I like going back to courses that, most of the players enjoy playing.
Absolutely.
I have another fun one that it's actually in Lake Geneva. It's called Hawksview. Have you ever played that?
No.
So they have a couple par threes. They are like from the back tees. I want to say like the elevation change. I don't know if it's like 100, 150 feet. It's insane. I know from the back tees, I think it plays like 210, 220 maybe. Or that's the actual yardage, but it plays probably like 175, 180. It's that far downhill.
That's awesome.
So it's a fun course to play in there. I don't recommend anyone walk the course though.
Well, obviously not with that elevation. There's no way.
Yeah, you're going up and down steep hills, especially on those par threes.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Because I know there's guys on the golf week. I don't know about seniors because I'm never around for seniors, but on the regular tour, there's guys who walk all the time.
At that course,
there's maybe one course in town that I'll walk.
Yeah, it really depends.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, everything's flat in El Paso.
Right. That's why I'll walk that one course because it's flat and everything's close by.
Oh, Chris.
I just like giving you a hard time.
I know. Well, Nick, thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate it. One more question for you. If you could tell people one reason to join the tour, what would it be?
I would just say how much fun I have, the camaraderie, the people you meet. A lot of times guys leave their house. They're like, hey, I'm going to golf with the guys. And sometimes some of those other buddies, they're going to be busy one weekend. But if you meet the Golf Week crew, you always have someone that you can call, hang out with, say, hey, do you want to hit up 18 holes? There's always someone in my phone I can call just for that very reason. Yeah. So it's not just about the competition. It's about the people you meet. I am a very competitive person at nature. So that's why I've been hooked to it. So I feel like it's going to draw a lot more of those people that have that competitive edge to them that, are craving that, especially, in your 50s and 60s, whatever it is, like on the senior tour, a lot of those guys can't hit the ball as far as, some of the younger crew. So they start to feel like they can't compete, especially with the lower indexes. So then on the senior tour, it gives them that opportunity where yardages don't matter anymore. So you're not facing the big hitters all the time. Everyone, normally hits the ball the same distance. So I like how it kind of, you can compete with anyone out here. It's not, some people might think, oh, tournaments, it's a combination. It's competitive, but it's kind of a league at the same time. It's something that's just fun that I enjoy doing. And I'm sure other people would too if they join.
Absolutely. Well, again, Nick, thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it. And I know you're going to do well. And hopefully we'll see you throughout the year.
All right. Thanks for having me.
All right, bud. All right.
Let's take a break from the show to hear about Srixon's ZX Mark II irons.
A great iron set needs more than good looks. It's got to be fast and got to be pure. But good looks never hurt either. The all-new ZX Mark II irons from Srixon.
Tim, Nick, we wish them the best starting off this new tour. Like I always say all the time, I know how it is to be a new director, but especially with the seniors. I'm going to say this, the senior tour, they do have a lot of fun. They do have a lot of fun after the round. And I mean, I've been a young guy trying to have a senior tour. It's not easy, but hopefully he's able to bring that tour to one of the best ones we got. I think he has the capability of doing it.
Yeah, he does. And I think he's really kind of right on, from his perspective of, just being a player on the golf week side,
right,
and not have to worry about doing those types of things, and, being tour director on the senior side, because he can just go and compete and then take care of the seniors the way they need to be taken care of. He's going to do a great job.
Yeah. And I mean
put it this
being
way,
able to have that time is nice, because you can then relax, maybe hit the putting and chipping green while they're playing for a little bit, let that pace kind of build up. And then if you have to go out there and take care of the pace, then you can. If not, I would use it at times for practice. That'd be my practice time, because I got to be out there anyways.
Right.
But you get to know these guys and hear their stories, their life stories, because for some reason the seniors like to tell you everything that they've gone through. It's a good time.
It is. And if he can teach middle school science, 6th grade science, he'll be just fine with the seniors.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
And the other thing with seniors, it's a completely different vibe, right? It's not, it's not that they're not competitive, because they are. It's just they're a little bit more laid back competitive, at least from my experience, right?
Right. It's a lot different than what he's probably used to in the champ flight.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So, well, anyway, I know he's going to do well, and God bless him. And again, love seeing his kids. Last episode we had Armin's kids in, and it's great. And
we're a family show at times.
Maybe that's going to be our new thing. We got to have some kids flash across.
It's perfectly fine with me. I'm not upset about it.
Me too. I love it. Well, so let's transition into our next new tour director, but he's not really new. He's been with me for a while. He's been my assistant for 8 years, and now we just kind of made it official. And we'll talk about a few things. So let's just go ahead and welcome Alan. Al, welcome to the show, bud.
Thank you, guys. Great. Thanks for having me.
But before we get started, I just want to say a couple words. You and I met, through a mutual connection of Cephas Franklin, our friend, the DC tour director. And we met right after the national championship in 2016. And I can't, number one, thank him enough for that introduction, but I also can't thank you enough for number one, for your friendship, and number two, all that you've done for the tour and to help me over these last 8 years, because Atlanta wouldn't be where it is without your help and support
Yep.
And you've heard me say this over and over again, and I don't just say this, it's the actual truth. I really don't do a whole lot. Jen does a lot of the backroom stuff. You take care of a lot of stuff on tournament day, and my job is really to walk around, talk to the guys, shake hands, give out the awards, and those types of things. So the tour would not be nearly what it is without you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Tim. It's more of all the guys is coming out enjoying their day of golf and enjoying the game. And when Cephas brought me in, I just had retired from the county, DeKalb County, after 30 years. I think I was retired about a year or so, and Cephas brought me in, introduced me to yourself and Jen, and it's been uphill from there. And I appreciate our relationship and providing golf here in Atlanta.
Yeah. I was talking to Chris, just before we had you in. He said, you're maybe kind of a culture shock. And I said, well, you need to hold on a second. Al has so much experience in event management, and the things that he's done in his previous career and some of the other things that he's doing right now. So why don't you tell everybody, what you did for DeKalb County and, kind of some of the other things that you do with your football league.
Yeah, currently I retired from DeKalb in 2014, and I headed up all the athletics there. Actually, I moved up to deputy director, but that was a little on managing more on behind the desk. But I was the athletic and aquatics manager, so I ran day-to-day youth sports, adult sports, senior sports, senior Olympics, the whole 9 yards of any sports that you can name in DeKalb for youth sports and teens. So I did that for 17, 18 years and went up to deputy and then did management or budgets and things of that nature. But retired after 30 years. And I started when I was there, I started a youth football league that's flourishing right now in Atlanta. It's called AYU, Atlanta Youth Football League that's doing real well right now. And they're actually got some teams in Florida, all around the country that's playing right now, that's finished up the football season. But Golf Week has been a joy to me to provide golf for adults and seniors here in Atlanta.
Go, Chris.
No, I was just gonna say that that's a lot of work that you've gotten under your belt. So I'm gonna take my statement back that I told Tim, and I think you're gonna be all right where you're gonna be. But Tim, you kind of make me feel bad when you say you don't do anything out there because you got everybody else doing everything. I need to start getting more assistants to do the back end work and all this other stuff.
Well, and Chris, you may not have heard me say this before, but I'm one of the best at getting out of the things that I don't want to do. I'm one of the best at that. I find other people to do all the stuff that I don't want to do. And one of the things that, you talked about this, to me, the best day of the week is tournament day. Hanging out with the guys, right. Shaking hands and cutting up and doing those types of things. That's the stuff that I really love doing, giving out the awards. Al, you've seen us with the awards, especially when we got shotguns, and all the guys hang out, and it's a really big deal to give out trophies and the gift cards and those types of things.
Yeah, it's about when you finish I'm more favorable for shotguns because it brings everybody in at the same time. When you're doing just first tees and coming off the tee at first, different tee times, it's different than the shotgun. The shotguns, when we can get those, it's a jewel for us to sit around when it finishes up. Guys talking, getting awards, talking about their rounds. It's all that camaraderie that you have throughout the day. Spending 4 or 5 hours. It's supposed to be 4 hours, but 4 or 5 hours. Sometimes it's 5.5 hours with guys. It's a long day, and what you do out on the course, you build relationships, and that's what's in Atlanta. We build a lot of relationships with guys that that you didn't know, and after 5 rounds, you get to know them, and you see them next week and week after 8-9 weeks of golf season. It's really enjoyable.
Yeah, it is, and again, you've been around for 8 years. and you know, you've seen a little bit of growth that we've had in Atlanta. You know, when we first started, you know, actually when I got there, so I'd been there for 2 years before you came on, and the growth that we've seen since you've been there in the recruiting, you know, we went from, I think we had like 80 guys, 90 guys.
Yep.
And we this year I think we finished at 147. Last year we were at 150 something. That's pretty good growth. Again, obviously we'd like to get up to the 175 area, but you know, getting to that number and getting 60 to 75 guys out per tournament, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah. Hey, we're looking to grow like tide water. We want to be where you open registration and you got 200 guys waiting, 220, whatever the number is, and trying to jump to that level. So Atlanta will grow, and we'll get there. Like Tim said, we're 80 to 125 and 145, 150. I'm expecting 170, 180. Hopefully we can get to that number this year and have more golfers out. And I think we can do that.
Yeah, I think so too. And so just so everybody understands, you know, you're really going to be the guy. I mean, you're going to be taking over. You're going to be the point of contact in Atlanta. I'm still going to be around, but you're really going to be the point of contact in terms of all the tournaments, answering all the questions and the text messages and the course stuff and all that those other things. So to our Atlanta members, I'm not going anywhere, but you're really going to be the face. You're going to be the one that's running around on tournament day shaking hands and giving out the award.
We're looking at some different courses or some semi-private courses that we're trying to bring in some new courses in and get some different looks at play during this year. And I think that with the members we have reaching out to their friends and, you know, more friends coming in that they have. And Atlanta has different groups of golfers that play within Golf Week. So they play, you know, if we're not playing a weekend, they'll go out and play in their groups and come back. So we're looking to increase our numbers and increase our different play. We'll have some courses on our radar that we're trying to put on our list of schedule for this upcoming 25 season.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to do a combo event with Alabama and Nashville, which is going to be a really good course. I don't think they want us to announce what course that is yet. That's going to be a really good event.
Yep.
Hopefully, we're going to get back to what was the places in McCormick?
The Savannah.
Terra. It was Terra and Monticello.
Terra, down Savannah Lakes.
Yeah, Savannah Lakes. Tell you what, that place is a hidden gem. I mean, I think, you know, for anybody who wants to do a 2-day, come join us down there, Savannah Lakes. You know, the Terra course and the Monticello course, hidden gems. They treated us really, really nice.
Yeah,
there.
Corners Augusta, us. I mean, we'll cut you off, but in corners Augusta, us, and part of South Carolina.
Yeah. So what other courses are you looking at this year?
We reached out to the University of Georgia, which is one of the good courses. So we're trying to, you know what? All right, Chris, you got another chance. We'll have another chance coming up this weekend, Texas and Georgia. So let's don't go there on the football side. You know what happened last time? We was out. I forgot what course we were playing, and I had to find you. I had to find you
did.
And lost you to.
At Nationals, he made sure to tell Jen, your Jen, Tim, that he's looking for me.
Boy. Yeah, but University of Georgia, the Terra course, and we're trying to it's a course down in Griffin. I don't know if you heard Sun City, so we got some contacts with those. So it's not definite yet, but we got some courses that we're trying to put on the schedule that we can enjoy. Golfers will enjoy this year in Atlanta.
So of all the courses that you've played being on Golf Week, before I even ask you this question, what everybody needs to understand, okay, is Al, you got a hole in one at Whistling Straits. Was it hole number 16?
No, 7. By the ocean. It was next to the ocean. 7. Had a 9-iron on number 7 on the ocean side. It rained that day. It snowed. I mean, it rained, wind, sun. I had 3 seasons on that hole, and I holed out on it.
That's pretty awesome.
And I look for history of somebody holding out on that. There's no history of a PGA. Nobody holding out on that hole.
Yep. And what I was trying to do, and I told you this. What I was trying to do was find somebody who had holed out and get a flag and have them sign it, congratulating you. But there wasn't any PGA players or LPGA players that had done that. So sorry, bud, you're out of luck.
Well, I'm alone. I'll take golf alone on that hole.
So outside of Whistling Straits, because that one doesn't count. What's been your favorite course that you've played on tour? Because you've done a little bit of traveling with it as well. So what's been your favorite course?
I can say Hilton Head. I like Dunes courses.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Dune courses. They are challenging and enjoyable at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Hampton Hall. Let me back up. Hampton Hall. I think Chris and I play Hampton Hall, if I'm not mistaken. Hampton Hall is a jewel in that. Hampton Hall probably the best on Golf Week. Hampton Hall will be the number 1. Mm-hmm. And then the Jones courses.
See, Chris,
what's Chris at?
Hampton Hall all the way.
Hampton Hall is a great course, I would say.
But see, Chris, it's not just me. I can't really decide which is a favorite course here on the island. I mean, when you look at it, okay, because I would agree with you. Hampton Hall is one of my tops. Jones course is one of my tops. Country Club at Hilton Head is one of my tops. I mean, they're, at least for me coming down here. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just gonna say like for me, when I get down there, I want to have fun, but also be challenged.
Right.
I don't want to have a headache on every hole, and it seems like the Jones courses give me a headache on every hole. And Hampton Hall gives you enough leeway to have fun and have a missed shot, but still be challenging at that point.
That's right. That's right. I would say I can agree to that, Chris.
Especially when they on Sunday pins that they have there for a national championship. Oh my God, there's some of those holes where it's like a turtleback, but it's still fun.
Right.
It's not like circus putting. You know what I mean? You still got to be challenged at it, but it's not a headache once you're walking back to your cart.
Yeah.
Speaking of headache, okay. Now, and everybody thinks that Atlanta is it's hot all the time. What's the weather there like right now?
Weather here now, it will be 22 degrees in the morning in Atlanta.
Okay.
It's cold. I mean, sometimes we can hit the mess. It's supposed to warm back up towards the end of the week, but we have almost, we can play golf all the way through November sometimes here.
Right.
It just depends on how that belt line goes and how that weather jet stream comes through here.
And we were talking offline, and you told us it's going to be really cold in the 20s, and Chris said, well, the cold stuff isn't really coming here until next week for us. We said, what's cold? And he said 60 degrees.
Yeah.
He can't play golf.
I'll be living in this hoodie for the next 3 months.
Oh, wow. At 60 T-shirts. And if I had 60 here, I'd be in a T-shirt.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Around here.
But even still, though, out in Atlanta, I mean, so we do get those, those cold temperatures every once in a while. But even still, it doesn't stay like that for very long. And my guess is that a lot of courses will be packed. even at 20-some degrees. Because it'll be maybe 20 in the morning, but by noontime, it'll warm up to 30, 40 degrees, and it'll be fine.
You could play. You can wake up and play early. It'll be 40-something degrees. By the time you finish, it'll be 65. Something like 20 degrees difference. So we just kind of watch the weather and see when we can get out based on tee time, and then finish the roundup. When you finish the roundup, you can be in 60 to 65 degree weather. So it changes like that. It just warms up like that.
See, I'll put it this way: if your professional football team has a dome, I am playing golf in the winter in your area, because even they know it's too cold.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Actually, that would have made sense because Arizona's also a dome.
Yeah.
So, scratch that.
Take it through.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I'm going to put you on the spot here too, okay? Because we didn't talk about this question at all.
Uh-oh.
What's been your most memorable round? And you can't say the hole-in-one now. We already talked about it. What's been your most memorable round on tour? Because again, you've been around for a long time, and you've got the experience of playing. You've got experience of playing and helping run the thing. So all the rounds you've been involved in, what's been your most memorable?
I think it's about, I can't remember the guy's name. He was a sheriff deputy out of, I have to look back. I got it written down. He was a sheriff deputy out of Alabama. Can't think of this guy's name right off the top. But he, myself, and it was four. We was from 4 different locations when we played. But I remember I didn't even remember playing the golf. I just remember having conversations about him, his kids, his family. We talked more about that in that foursome than we did golf itself. So, my memory doesn't serve me correctly right here now, but that's what Golf Week is about. It's about relationships, guys you play golf with, guys you spend 4 or 5 hours with playing. So that's more of my memorable golf that I would have in Golf Week. Besides the guys that I know every day that I play with, that will be that'll be one of them.
Yeah. I remember that round that you're talking about, and I think his wife plays as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And because we did
a sheriff. It was a sheriff deputy in Alabama. I cannot think of his name. I mean, he might see this podcast and send you something on it, but we talked the whole round.
But again, that's really what it's about too, right? I mean, when we tell you specifically tell our members that on a regular basis.
Yes, I do.
When we're just hanging out talking, at the end of a tournament round, especially when we have shotguns, you specifically say these things to our players, and I think we have a really good culture in Atlanta that really kind of embraces that.
Yeah, and the emphasis put on. I'll say this all the time, but emphasis put on. That's not the golf. This is nature. How the course is put together. You have deer running through. And every time I look for fish. I'm a fisherman as well, as far as a golfer. So I look for fish and eat the ponds in the lakes that's right around us, and it's the nature of it. And then when you play golf, you got to consider the elements: wind, if it's sunny, if it's rainy, if it's downwind, upwind, math, calculating. All those things are challenging things, elements that you have to put forth when you're playing golf. It's just not. It's a mental game as well as enjoying the environment when you're playing and all that. A lot of people know you're just going to hit the ball. You're playing against this person. No, you're playing against yourself. The elements that's put forward.
Exactly. Well, I'm gonna put you on the spot again,
Okay.
and because I think it's important for people to understand who we are as tour directors and tour members. You won a national championship in football. You scored the winning touchdown.
Yep.
Tell Chris about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
And I don't put too much emphasis on that. You know, that was a while ago, 1982. West Georgia, we had opportunity. It was strike year. The year before that, I think the same year was a strike year in the NFL, and we had opportunity to play on TV about 2 or 3 times. And we, the previous year in 81, we made it to the quarterfinals, and we lost to I think maybe Winder College up in Pennsylvania, somewhere up that area. And then we 82, we won against maybe Winder in 82, and then we played against another team in 81. But long story short, we did have an opportunity to win the championship on national TV. But it was about that point at West Georgia. We learned, I learned myself, it's about team. It's about again, the elements. It was cold. I think it was probably like 30-something degrees when we played that year. But winning a national championship, you look back on your relationships, not that you won it, but the relationship that got you to that championship.
Right.
And that's what I take from the experience of winning championships. Any guy that's carrying a ring from a football or basketball or baseball or whatever, they'll tell you it's about how we got there. And the same thing with golf, and people enjoying golf, is that you're winning scores. I mean, your scores are what you're winning against. So if I'm shooting 80, 85, if I'm trying to push my scores down, it's against me, myself,
right,
and not the opponent that you have. It's a little bit different in team sports and individual sports. But West Georgia was a great experience for me in the years I was there, 81 to 84. But that 82 year was very special in winning. I don't talk much about it, Tim. I always bring it up, but
well, it's important because again, I mean, not only do you have that history in the sport industry and business and running these types of events, but you're also an athlete. You're right. I mean, you're not an athlete like you were in 82 or 83, but you're still an athlete, right? I mean, you still have that those characters, those qualities, those things that got you to be that at that level.
Yeah, it's right now my back wouldn't say that I was some sort of athlete. It's telling on you after you play the sport, and it's a toll on you. But again, I tell everybody, after coming out of an active sport like that, tennis, golf, hiking, biking, pickleball now are sports that you want to pick up for long-time sports for I can say the elderly, but your later lives, because that'll keep you active, and keep you moving, keep you healthy. Mm-hmm. All those things are very important in the sport and in the industry. I come from the Parks and Rec and the sports administration part. You have to keep your body moving, keep it energized, keep it healthy, eat the right foods, those type of things.
Make me feel bad about myself, Al.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just, I'm spitting the facts though.
I know.
That's all.
I know.
That's all. I'm guilty of it sometimes too.
Well, let me. Do you wear that Detroit Lions hat around town, or just at home?
No, I wear it all around town. I got a nephew that's the defense coordinator for one of the defensive linebackers for the Lions, and hopefully next year, depending on where they end up this year, they end up in the divisional champions, Super Bowl, or whatever, he'll get a defensive coordinator job. He will, Kelvin Shepard, which is my nephew, will have a job either for somebody's defensive, because he does a very good job. I don't brag about much. I know football. I don't brag about much, but he is a great coach. He's very personal to those guys that you'll see. Watch those linebackers, how they fly around. And he will be I'm predicting now, you can look back 2 or 3 years ago, he'll be a NFL defense coordinator and someday a head coach. They actually did an article on that.
Good.
If you Google it, this article came out.
I mean, he's in a good situation right now. Dan Campbell is a
yes.
He came out of nowhere, I think, and
yep.
His style, the way he coaches, the way he deals with players is
very good.
Kind of the new way to do it, and so he's learning from one of the best, I think.
Yep, changing. Dan Campbell is changing with the times, being able to relate to those players.
Yeah. Well, Al, again, I can't thank you enough for all that you've done for us in the tour, and looking forward to continue this year. But
we are excited.
You can answer
this. I'm excited. I'm excited for Atlanta. I'm excited for the courses that we'll play this year. I'm excited and look forward to the relationships we'll develop, the new players that's coming on, the new players that will sign up with us, and we'll guarantee you'll have a great time with us. I don't know if I'll play much myself, but I'm going to make sure that the guys that sign up have an enjoyable time when they come and sign up and play with us in Atlanta.
Al, when you do play, I want you to text me and tell me how fun it was to have to worry while you're playing and making sure everybody's on time and everything like that, all right?
Hey, bud, I already been through that. Tim will tell you, I already been through that. I did the senior year. I would play and try to play and then come back and get the scores together. It's not pretty.
It's not. But when we win, it's like, okay, that was 2 jobs in one.
Hey, I won one. I think I won one time and I had to present a trophy to myself. So it was.
That's the most awkward part.
No,
like, that's the part I try to skip, is when it's like, all right, and the B flight winner is. Yeah, we're just gonna skip that one.
Skip it over.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah.
All right, my friend, you take care of yourself, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right. Let's take a break from the show to hear about Srixon's ZX Mark II drivers.
ZX Mark II drivers are for major players, major winners, major power. All new ZX Mark II drivers, only from Srixon.
Tim, I was going to have a blast with the Atlanta tour, but, I mean, don't get mad when he gets more members than you've had, okay?
Oh, I'm not getting mad one bit.
I'm pretty sure that's going to happen.
I hope it happens. I really do. You know, he's been around long enough to know, he knows the ins and outs. He knows the guys really well. He knows the pockets of players that are around it. And you know, he touched on something really important. You know, in Atlanta, we've got what Al and I call pods, pods of players, where they have their own groups. So like we got 10 or 15 guys that play with this group, other 10 or 15 guys that play with that group, and so forth. And Atlanta is an area that has a lot of different groups or leagues all over the place. And that's kind of how they.
That's everywhere. I mean, we have that too here.
No, Chris, this is different. Trust me.
Okay.
It's yes, other places have that, but this is. It's number one. It's way more organized. It's way more. It's bigger. It's bigger than. I mean,
okay.
It's kind of like its own. I don't even like using this word, but it's kind of like its own ecosystem within its.
Okay.
And so what ends up happening is you get one or two guys that will go and this is kind of how we grew. One or two guys from let's just say this pod over here would come and try it out, and they liked it, and they would then, like I told Nick, bring one or two guys. and then they would bring one or two guys, and then they would bring one or two guys.
Right.
And even within these pods, so some of the guys will play in like one or two different pods as well. And so it's very well defined, and I'm not going to say cliquey at all, but if you say, I know I'm playing with this group. I mean, the groups have their own names, have their own. It's
right.
It's a pretty big deal. So he knows the infrastructure of them. He knows the contacts of the guys who run these things. And we actually have a lot of those guys that are on the tour now. But to be able to bring more of those guys in, because he's there and he can focus on doing that, I'm sure he's going to be bigger than when I was in charge. And it's great, good for him.
Yeah, awesome. Again, being able to talk to him in depth about what his plans are and what he sees, I just can't wait to see what comes of this year and be able to talk about it at the director's meeting next year.
I'm looking forward to seeing that, and with some of the things we've got going on, I'll still be around in Atlanta, but I won't be able to, to be doing the day-to-day and all the tournament day stuff, just with what we're doing with the podcast, and that's just the growth. It is what it is, and
right.
It's all good things. It's all good things for the tour, and we'll see what happens. I'll miss the guys day to day, because it's, again, tournament day for me is the best day of the week. So, but we'll still have it for regionals and those types of things.
Yeah,
and then
for sure.
And then when I'm still in town, anyway, that's that. So you guys have a good Christmas?
We did. Good relaxing time. I mean, I still work retail, so I only get it for a couple of days, and then I still got to get back out there for the return season of it.
Yeah. So do you work the day after Christmas?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
God bless you, man.
And people bring their gifts that they just got to return because they don't like them. It's like,
well, yeah, but wait a second. You work at Apple. Who's returned something that Apple puts out?
You would be surprised. You would be surprised.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's the littlest things. I don't like this color. I want a different color. Or it's crazy. So
I can't. Chris, I wish you should have said no. Nobody returns it. You should just just humor me.
I'm not gonna lie about it. I gotta work. I'm not gonna lie about it.
I actually need to go to the Apple store. I need to change the battery in one of my Apple Watch. It's just old. It just
buy a new one.
Well, can't
just trade it in and buy a new one. But that's a conversation for another day.
Is that what I should do?
This is a conversation for another day.
Sorry, man. I can't help it. But I also have to buy an iPad. Maybe if I didn't like Apple stuff so much. Anyway. The Christmas was good. Kids are happy.
Christmas good. Yep. They're happy. New year. And yeah. I'm already looking forward to it. So can't wait to see what happens this year.
Well, last episode came out right before Christmas, and we have a number of reasons why you and I are going to hell. By the way, happy Mother's Day.
Yep.
We don't want to forget that, but we did forget one. We forgot two things.
Well, we didn't forget one because it hasn't started yet, so we're still good.
Well,
we just got reminded about it.
It's not over yet. It started on Christmas. And that's Happy Hanukkah.
This is coming before Christmas.
No, this is December 30th.
Oh, never mind. I'm going twice.
So yeah, we're going to hell. But Jen's birthday was on the 18th, and missed her. Yeah, we missed her birthday. I'm going to hell.
We as a podcast missed it. You as a person did not.
No, as a person, I did not miss it.
As her husband, you better not.
I didn't. We had a good time, but all that she does for the tour, the training of the tour directors, this handicap stuff, all the time that she puts in. Oh, God. Don't even get me started. And what she does, what she puts up with me.
Yeah.
The one I would say one of the positives, I guess, for Jen is with me not necessarily being at tournaments this coming year, is that will free up some time for her.
I'm pretty sure
of her not sitting at the registration desk, check-in desk, and all those types of things all day.
Trust me, I know. If I'm late to her registration, sheesh.
Yeah, you better.
That happened at Nationals, and I thought I'd get a pass, and I didn't. Yeah. And it was a good thing I made it, because imagine if I didn't make it this year, how depressing that would have been with how well I played.
I know. You wouldn't be Directors Cup winner.
No. I mean, I literally rolled up and she had her mic in her hand ready to do announcements.
He's on it, man. He's on it.
I'm surprised she didn't call me and yell at me while I was driving.
She texted me. He texted me. She said, "Where's Chris?" Like, well, first off, I don't know. I mean, we're not together. We're he's not even in the flight that I'm in. He didn't call me, check in. And said, well, he's not here. He's the only one that's not here. I don't. What do you want from me? I mean, I was just. I get it. Everything's my fault, and I own it. But I don't know what you want me to do.
It's a story to tell forever.
She started yelling at me before she even started yelling.
I heard it when I walked in.
I'll be late next year. I think she's going to request to be at your course.
She probably will.
So anyway, when Jen's at registration, you better
be on top of it.
Well, no, not really. I think she's just like that with tour directors. The regular members, for the most part, she's nice, calm, soothing voice.
We should know better. That's what it is.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have your $40 for skins? Then we'll take care of it. And I do. I take care of you guys. But anyway. But yeah, I mean, she'll have some free time on a couple sets. Happy birthday, Jen. And happy Hanukkah to everybody. Everybody that's out there, and happy Mother's Day.
Yes. I think we're good so far.
We're good. I think we got that now. We get all kinds of data, with being the podcast and stuff. And I subscribe to newsletters and this, that, and the other thing, just to kind of see what's going on out there. And one of the news outlets, they send us a daily type of thing, and we got some data on the most searched golfers, most Googled golfers, and for the last 20 years, the number one golfer, it shouldn't be surprising, but he's been Tiger. Right?
Of course.
So Google's been around for 20 plus years, and he's been
longer than
golfer. Yeah, and this year he was not the number one Google golfer,
which I'm not surprised. I mean, he played 2 events maybe. Didn't get in trouble. No car accidents.
No car accidents. A couple surgeries.
Yeah, but even then, nobody knows about those.
Right.
If anything, I'd be surprised. I wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe I would. If Charlie was more Googled than he was.
He wasn't on the list, and it doesn't say professional golfers. It just says most Googled golfers.
Right.
And honestly, this must be professional male golfers because, I mean, if you think about some of the high profile female golfers, and I get, so don't get me wrong here, okay? Nothing against Ricky Fowler. I mean, obviously charismatic, but he did have a great year. But or say Grayson.
He's
Grayson
still a
Murray,
fan favorite.
He is. But what about Nelly Korda? What about?
I mean, yeah.
You know what I'm saying. I'm sure that maybe I'll look into it. But this has. Oh, actually, Nelly Korda is on the list. I thought she's number 7.
See, you only went to top 5.
Well, Ricky was 10. Can't read.
And Nellie's the only girl on there too.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah, phenomenal year.
And we got some live golfers on there.
But I guess the way to get to number 1 is to get arrested.
Yeah, that would get you up there. I mean, I saw. So I did a Halloween Greenskeeper Revenge tournament.
Okay.
And it was encouraged to wear a costume. It was 2-man scramble, so me and one of my members went to play. We didn't wear a costume. But the 2 guys we got paired with had costumes. Guess what the costume was?
What was?
It was Scheffler orange jumpsuit, and a John Daly orange jumpsuit.
Oh my God, that's funny. That's funny.
It was great. I think they won costume of the year. I don't care what anybody else wore.
That's funny. I mean, you could have worn.
Could have worn what?
Could have worn your costume. Could have worn your costume.
No, don't even. I know what you're saying. Don't even. You need to put it back up again. If they missed the last episode, they missed it. They got to go back and watch it. Yes.
Okay.
I can see what you're trying to do with your little eyes.
That's funny though.
If they didn't watch the last one, they got to go back and watch it.
Well, that's up there for forever, so they can go pull it down.
Yeah. But
anyway, all good things. Make sure that you guys are registering for the tour. I know some early bird specials are running out over the next couple of days.
Yep.
I think Atlanta. I think we're gonna keep it going until probably the middle of the month. Just made an executive decision.
And you know what's great about it? Like, even with me, if I see a good tick of the early bird price helping out, then I'll keep going on. Maybe to the first event or the second event. If it keeps bringing people in, it doesn't hurt.
Right. But you got a first event in February, right?
But no, last weekend of January, when we started up.
We go. Yeah, so you're 30 days out.
Yep.
Get it?
I'm excited. I can't wait.
I'm excited for you. Mm-hmm. Are you going out to Vegas?
I haven't decided yet. We'll see what the boss tells me. What the big boss tells me. Not Dennis.
I understand. Southern Icebreakers this coming weekend, man.
Yep. It's already around the corner.
And so, I'll probably just do, record the interviews and upload them as part of the next episode.
Yep.
And go from there. We'll talk about it, but if you go up to Vegas, maybe do the same thing.
Yeah, well, we'll make it work somewhere, one way or another.
We'll figure it out. All right, my friend. That's all we got. We better get some rest because we got 4 or 5 days.
What's that? What's rest? I'm already used to it.
I don't even know. Don't even know. All right, man. Well,
again, like you said, happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Happy Mother's Day.
And
happy birthday, Jen.
Happy birthday, Jen. So get ready because in 4 or 5 days, we're rolling.
Yes, sir.
All right, bud. All the best to the family. We'll talk to you soon.
Likewise. Be safe. Bye.
Hey there. Welcome back to the Golfweek Amateur Tour, the podcast. Chris, should we tell people how to join the tour?
Of course. Whether you're a seasoned member or just tuning in to learn more, we're here to help you dive into the ins and outs of the tour. If you've been on the fence about joining, there's no better time than now. It's a fantastic way to play competitive golf, meet other passionate golfers, and step up your game.
Registration is open. All you need to do is go to amateurgolftour.net. Click Join the Tour button and pay your local tour's membership dues.
And if you want to keep up with all things Golfweek Amateur Tour, make sure you're subscribed and listening to the podcast on your favorite platform. Don't forget to download each episode, share it with your golf buddies, and if you're enjoying the show, drop us a like and a review. Your feedback helps us grow the community and reach more golfers just like you. Thanks for tuning in. Now let's get into today's episode.